Hello? Can anybody hear me? And or do I sound strange? In part because the default microphone is not the blue snowball. So who knows what the default microphone or is the one attached to the camera. So who knows what the default microphone will sound like. All right. Let's see. We hear you and you are a little quiet. All right. I'm going to try moving closer to the microphone and talk a little bit louder. Let's see. Hello, everybody. It is good to see you. It has been a couple weeks. I haven't streamed this consecutively in a little bit of a while, but I'm happy to be here. All right, I am closer to the camera now. And also we'll talk a little bit louder. All right, so what do we want to do today? It was supposed to be Luke, like I mentioned, but Luke is at GDC doing important Luke-related things. Really doing important things with regards to learning about all kinds of cool stuff that's going on. So what are we going to do instead? Well, I was going to make all right, I sound echoey. All right, I was going to make a Desktop Tuesday for next Tuesday about the new builder, about how to use the new builder, all that kind of stuff. But it occurred to me that since I realized last minute that I was going to have to, or that I should stream, I figured I would come here and talk a little bit about the new builder here also. Let's see. If I sound a bit echoey, it's probably because the microphone that's getting this isn't the right microphone. So let's try this instead. Default. Okay. How does that sound now? I've switched the microphone. Muted, unmuted. Let me know if that worked better. All right, I sound better now. Okay. The good news, the bad news about that is, guess what is going to sound echoey? Like next week's Desktop Tuesday, right? All right, anyway. Okay, cool. So, let us talk a little bit about the builder. So, glad that worked. This is a new version of the builder, and it probably is going to be super loud. So, you know what? Let me mute the microphone, like... right, allow this file. So, by the way, if you're using Symantec, if there's a build that hasn't been seen by Symantec more than like 3 or 4 times, they automatically flag it. And you can whitelist a build, but like we push a lot, so we tend not to whitelist all these builds. Yes, I am certain that this file is safe. This file was sent to me by Justin. Hello again. The music volume was already down, so we didn't even need to do that. This build does have a backup. This is the new builder. This is a new build off of Chris's machine. It's actually new as of last Friday. Sound dead, Mike, there we go. Right, okay. So it's actually new as of last Friday. And what is sort of like up with the new builder is we have been sending it out to friends and family, people who are incredibly patient with Stonehearth, and who don't mind like messing with like 5 bajillion million quadrillion bugs. And so as a result, it's been getting hardened by some brave souls who have a huge tolerance for mostly fixing bugs and not so much playing the game. So for today, let us just play with it and we'll talk through it and we'll talk through some of the decisions. Yeah, might want to turn the game sound down. Right, okay, cool. In a moment, let me put this down. Oh, look at all these berry bushes. All right, that's going to be exciting. And there's this big empty space where we can build things. That's also exciting. All right, this is actually even better. Berry bush bonanza. Okay, cool. All right, back to sound. I think it's the effects. The effects are just really, really loud. All right, that should be better. And we can randomly resize the window because Max is amazing and cool. Let's see. Okay, so... Right. So, the most amazing thing about the builder right now is how fast
Chris is fixing bugs with it, I think. That's a strange statement, I realize, but you have to understand that the old builder had so many weird dependencies inside of itself that whenever you fixed a bug, like, it caused 500 other bugs to happen, and you, like, were never really sure how they were related to each other, or how the bugs in general were related to each other. So this new builder, like, the fact that, you know, you'll build a house and it'll be unbuildable and you'll be like, why is this? It turns out that, okay, well, it's actually super easy to find the fix. The fix is really straightforward, and it doesn't end up breaking anything else. So though I think we might still have to fix like 1,000 bugs with the new builder, just like we did with the old one, with any luck it'll be just like fixing them very quickly and instead of like having to do a ton of other things every time we fix one bug and then discovering that it's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Okay, so the new builder coexists with the old builder. So the first time you load the game, or if you just you know, you probably want to hit F5 because there's a bit of a race condition here, but both builders are actually still present. So like the old builder's here, you can use it to build buildings in the old way. This is so that if you don't want to mess with the new builder and you happen to be on a build that has the new builder, you don't have to. But, you know, and this is also so that if you were like in the middle of editing a house with the old builder that you created in a previous game, you can finish editing it and save it as a template. But the new builder is right beside the old builder. So this is the new builder. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Justin just managed to do a lot of styling on it. He's actually styling it as we speak. And it's really beautiful. And all of these icons, they look a little grainy here in the view because this is not like a normal Stonehearth aspect ratio. It's a little bit long. But Nikki made all of these icons, and they're just absolutely beautiful to me, who has a lot of trouble with pixel art. So she made all these icons, and she also designed the UI, so it's all good. Okay, so what do you want to do? Right-click over the sound icon on the bottom right of the screen. Select Open Volume Mixer. Right? And then redirect the sound from there. So when I do that, I just see like the headphones. Oh, Open Volume Mixer. Let's see. All right. So system sounds. Like we probably want those to be lower. Steam Client Bootstrapper, we probably want that to be lower. But really, let's look for Stonehearth. All right, Stonehearth, let's let your sound be a little bit quieter than the usual. Let's try that. Okay. Anyway. So what do you want to do when you got the new builder? Well, the first thing that you probably want to do is don't mix it with the old builder. Do not use them together. They're not supposed to go together. No, just don't. They're not, like, after the new builder gets, like, for example, the road tool and the fence tool, and after it becomes fully at parity with the old one, then we can, then maybe we can retire the old builder. So they're absolutely not meant to be together. In the chair beside me, this is Tibbers. He's a teddy bear. He's a sort of like League of Legends character. There's this pyromaniac mage girl who plays mid named Annie, and she carries Tibbers around, and when she gets really excited, when she hits 6th level, she summons Tibbers, and it's terrifying. Tibbers is very terrifying. So this is not the wombat. Does he know he's been replaced? Let me see if I can find you a picture of Annie and Tibbers. Yeah, okay. That would be a picture of Annie and Tibbers. Like this. This is more like what they look like in game. She's got him here. Here he is. I play Annie sometimes. And if you ever visit Riot Games in LA, this is actually what they look like. This statue is in the front hall of the campus. You just like kind of like walk down the main front part of the campus and you see Annie and Tibbers, and so it's like, okay, we're super committed, I guess. So anyway, yeah, he's very cool. The wombat is actually overlooking our work area, and right now he's a mount to a rabbit. I don't know if anyone actually has a picture of that, but no, he has not really been replaced. It's just more like Tibbers is here in the room, along with a bunch of other League-related plushies, or at least they were before they were all moved. But I feel like, you know, to the right of me there's like so much dead space, so I wanted to put someone in there. I like teddy bears. Anyway, okay, so, right, so you're in the new builder. Cool, like, what do you want to do with it? Well, The first thing that's selected is the pointer tool. That doesn't help you because there's nothing else here yet. The first thing you actually want to do is select the room tool. And since like all of Stonehearth everything the idea is that the room should be the heart of the house. The room is how you build a house. So you can use the room tool to build things in, build things out, whatever you want to do. Immediately you can see that I've built a structure that requires I don't know, 29 wooden blocks. So that's kind of a lot, but that's just how the room tool works. I can hit Control Z and undo things, and it's actually really amazing. I can click on rooms, and there are these arrows that Melly put in. You can use them to move stuff around. It's actually pretty neat. So I begin to have a house like this. Every time I right-click to deselect things, it goes from whatever tool I was using back to the pointer, which is super useful, because the pointer is what you use to click on things to actually manipulate them. Right, so you can make rooms on your rooms. Yeah, you can. There's an interior wall tool that also works for making rooms. It's very cool. It actually works, unlike the other interior wall tool. You can use it to do whatever you like. If the interior walls intersect with the exterior walls, sometimes there's still issues with that. But for the most part, it's doing pretty good. Okay, so, and you can actually also multi-select, so if I wanted to select both things, oops, here we go, and move them, I can do that. So it's oh, I'm too close to that tree, so let me do that. And then the other way that you can manipulate rooms, which is really exciting, let's harvest some of these guys. The other way that you can manipulate rooms, which is really exciting, is we now have a wall splitter tool. So the rule is that whenever you have a segment like this, you can pull it. So a wall segment is any piece of wall that is between two columns. So that's pretty neat, right? But we were looking for easy ways of making those old structures that we used to have. And so this is a wall splitter. So it means that I can add a column anywhere, and then suddenly, based on the rule, which is that any wall segment between two columns is manipulable, now I can do this with it. So, those old ascendancy templates that I love so much that Tom made, where it's okay, the front of the house extrudes, this is how you do it. And this is how, I believe that there was some comments at some point, back maybe in the fall when we first started this, that it's oh, but I really want to make a round house. Well, we really honestly don't want we don't want it to be easy for you to make a round house, because that's really not the Stonehearth aesthetic. But if you really, really wanted to, fine. You can do it. It'll take a few clicks. It's not an inordinate number of clicks, but you can do whatever you want here. And that really was the goal of the builder. Nikki and Chris really did want to make it so that you can make, whatever stuff you wanted. It's just that it would just be easier to make some things that were beautiful. All right, check out undo again, Control Z. Oh my God, we're just undoing this. It's really satisfying. All right, so that's the wall cut tool is actually one of my favorites, and I feel it really enables the builder to be very flexible. All right, great. In fact, you can do it the other way too, where you extrude things. Let's see. All right, let's put one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Okay. So, we could do this, to make a nice. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Nope. All right, sorry. I grabbed the wrong button because they were all overlapping. So that's the thing that we're still working on. How many buttons do we want? I'd grab the blue one, the light blue one, instead of the dark blue one. Hey, Hearthlings, why are you not cutting these trees down? Okay, that's because the game was paused. So, right, so that's the wall cut tool. Super easy, super straightforward. Why not include the number of studs on each end to the closest column end of the building? So, have... You mean have a little ruler inside the thing to tell you how big it is? That is definitely something we would like to do. One of the reasons it's not there is because the first thing Chris wanted to do was bring it to parity with the old builder. So if parity, so it has the same number of features. So he was anything that's new we'll add later. Also, this thing is it's one voxel up from the ground because he hasn't yet cut it he hasn't allowed you yet to push it into the ground. That's also a thing he wants to do, to bring it to parity with the old builder. But It's just, he just hasn't worried about it yet. He has got a lot of other things that he's worried about. Wow, that person's super angry, and because of the way that the blur happens, it feels like they're in the Blair Witch Project, right? Okay, so anyway, they're also looking at ways of making the building pop, but not making the colors in the background so desaturated, or like making it so freaky all the time. Other thing you can do, when you've got a room selected, it's fairly easy to change everything about that room from this palette, or you can just change one wall at a time if you prefer. Whatever you've selected, whatever you like, it's pretty granular. There's also a paint tool, so if you like just, you know, hate the way that the pattern is and you want to make your own pattern, like just, you know, paint and go completely crazy. I did a Desktop Tuesday about this also, so I was very, it doesn't always work yet, but it is getting there. I'm currently undergoing a weird, like, everything wants to be pale and dark gray phase of my life. Like where all the, like, I want like everything in my house to be painted like some shade of cool gray. I think I blame Pinterest. I feel like when you look at like cozy houses on Pinterest, like, you know, it's like someone just decided, oh yes, the 1980s is going to be cream colored, and like the early 2000s is going to be olive colored, and like everything else is going to be gray. Like this new decade is going to be gray. Okay, so the other thing you should know about the builder is, hey, look, like there's nothing in the like the windows should be here, doors should be here. Well, so one of the things that we really want you to do, we don't want the builder to allow you to have the option of like populating your house with stuff, at least at the moment anyway, that isn't buildable by you. So at the moment, in order to get stuff in those palettes, you should promote a crafter, and then that palette will slowly accrue things as your crafter gets cooler. Which is to say that, you know, if you want to build a house with like the nicest things, and make the builder easy that way, you'll want like a weaver around. But anyway, so now we have that crafter. Before we start, I should actually probably, just before I forget, like make her a workbench and place it so that once the builder auto queues all the things, they'll actually get built. All right, but anyway, where were we? So back to the builder. I probably wanted some windows and doors in this thing. So let's see, let's pick a door. Whoops. We have a really fantastic bug right now, and I really, it's one of my favorite bugs that we've had in Stonehearth, where as we drag stuff, like trees just like teleport into the middle of the buildings. I really hope we'll get to see that today, because that is just like, it's just like the highlight of my day. Like I'm in the middle of doing something otherwise rather mundane, and then like suddenly a tree is there. Like, why yes, tree, I did want you in my life. Okay, so one of the best parts about the new builder is the fact that you can adjust by one, right? So like now, like, you know, if you're like frustrated because you can't have a symmetrical number of windows on either side of your thing, like surprise, you can just have them now. It's so satisfying. I think this is really driving people nuts. Like many times, it's driven many people crazy that was not something that was more easily accessible. So, all right. Okay, cool. And that enables me to take this wall, put it in. Like this is a wall made with the interior wall tool. So like maybe I should have just made it with the room tool and it would have made it faster. But I wanted to show the interior wall tool too. Okay, so great. And we're gonna put another door over here. And if I didn't want to use a door, like I could just use this and do this, and then the door disappears and it's amazing. Let's say that I just wanted it to be a tasteful archway. We have like a hole tool, and this hole tool is like my new favorite thing, because our new sound person, Erin, who has joined us to help make sure that Stonehearth has sound, has added the most delicious sound to the hole tool. Like I could use it all day. We have another sound designer in the office for another project, and he heard the sound associated with the hole tool, and he was just like, I just want this sound for my birthday. Was there an answer for getting rid of that one square above ground level, lowering the foundation? Yeah, Chris wants to do that. He just hasn't gotten around to it yet, because like he's constantly dealing with other bugs that are like way worse. And it's more like he knows he can do it because he's already done it once. So he's not so worried about it as compared to other bugs that he's never fixed before. Okay, neat. If you want a mode in which all of the stuff is unlocked all the time forever, just use the debug keys and take your guys and like just make all the crafters you want, and then like use the debug tools and the shift click menu, this menu, to like level them up. Let's see, where is that? Let's see. I really thought there was a level up thing here. Maybe, oh, maybe because that's a worker. Let's select the carpenter. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so she's a carpenter level 6, right? Okay, so in fact, let's just go the whole hog. Let's turn you into a weaver. Promote to... Ta-da! Alright, now you're a weaver, and you never even had to get up. You didn't even have to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone starts at level 1 now instead of level 0, which caused way more problems than you might imagine. But yeah, so like, now we've got all the doors, and like, now we've got all the beds, and now we've got like weaver tapestries, and like, you know, plush bunnies, and fences that have gold caps on them. Because remember, like, as your dudes level up, the fine items are now separate recipes, so you can just place them in the world, which is really, really cool. At least I think it's very cool. Like, someone once said that they were very sad that, like, I sounded so self-congratulatory in all of the Desktop Tuesdays, and Tom warned me about this. He was like, stop praising us when you talk about us. I know you just want to praise us, but, like, it sounds like, you know, you're just building us up when you just sound like a blowhard when you do that. And I was like, I really don't agree. I mean, like, I didn't make all these things. I didn't add all these things to the game. So like, I feel so incredibly happy to share that our team has done all this stuff, because for me it's so magical. It's like, oh, check it out. It's one off. You know what I can do to fix that? Haha. So yeah, for me it's just so magical that the team has done all this stuff. So thank you for indulging me on this. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of weird because like I'm gonna move the wall this way, and what's gonna happen to the like hole I cut out? Well, okay, so I should probably add like stuff back from this hole, but then like, like, anyway, but okay, so if I wanted there to be one more white thing though, I could just go here. This is the voxel tool. Here it is. And then, whoa, whoops, sorry. The voxel slab tool like still primarily works in this, in one direction, but you can do it this way too. Woo, alright, mutation. Well, hey, recompute supports. Alright, it should still be okay. Probably, fingers crossed. Alright, but now we have this cool wall pattern, and like, let's keep on adding windows because I really like windows. Some windows in here. Right, okay, so cool. So like now we see the house, like the wall tool's working, all this good stuff. Someone has to believe in us. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Does someone, Microloss says, does getting someone to have lots of level 1 trades make it harder to reach the maximum of one trait? One trait. Well, traits don't really, like, by traits, do you mean like their stats? Like up here? Like these guys don't really go up. They don't really increase. At least I don't think so. Like, I don't think Luke has added anything that increases them. Although I know that Max added something so that you can sort. That's pretty exciting. What looks like a button acts like a button. Who knew? If you have people who have one level in lots of classes, though, it does make it harder for them to level up because, like in D&D, you have an overall person level, and that's the sum level of all of your classes. And every time you go up a person level, it costs more XP every person level thereafter. So if you're like a 5th level carpenter and then you swap classes to be a level 1 farmer, it's gonna take you like 6 levels of experience, like the equivalent of 6th level experience to get to level 2 as a farmer. So you really want to specialize. The reason that I did that, and that was my choice, Luke disagrees with it, so we may change it someday if he finds a better solution. The reason that we did that is because we were like really worried that people would like, whenever anyone attacked, they would like level everyone into footmen and then like level them back into carpenter in order to build stuff for houses. And it's not like we had a problem with that per se. I think that that's like conceptually that's okay, but I didn't want people to have to feel like they had to micro at that level. So that's why we kind of decided to not do that, and borrowed an existing Dungeons & Dragons related solution to accomplish it. Okay, whoa, sorry about that. I clicked on the window, but I placed the window and the ray of my mouse went through the window and hit the tree. And when it did that, it moved out of the building editor, because if I click on this tree, it closes the building editor, right? Because presumably I want to interact with the tree. So, and now there's an extra window here. Okay, cool, awesome. But right, okay. So what if you do want to micro at that level? Well, I guess your name is Micro Lost, right? So if you did want to micro at that level, there's an equation inside like basehuman.json. I think that like if you're gonna micro at that level, you're not afraid of some JSON, right? That is the like equation that determines the XP. So if you want, you can go in there and mess with that equation and make it not exponential, make it linear instead. And then that should allow you to just be like, okay, well, my next level is going to be this much XP no matter what I want to do, and you just do that. Don't let me be able to switch. Yeah, see, my dad, I think I might have mentioned this before. My dad is amazing. My dad has always played video games. My whole life he's played video games, but he has this thing where like he can't play a video game without like obsessively finding like every way to like make it work. So like when I go over and we hang out, he'll just be like, he'll be playing an Elder Scrolls game. It wasn't Skyrim, it was the one before. And like he's got his character and his character's just standing in the fire trap and healing herself constantly. So, and he'll do this like all afternoon until she's like leveled up, and I'm like, Dad, show me some like cool monster, and he'll be like, no, this is the most amazing thing in this game. Or he'll be in like Final Fantasy and he'll like level every single person up like in Ninja or something, and then he'll like have them stand in like weird traps that de-level them, but then like they retain their stats or something, and he'll do this over and over and over again until everyone's like his entire party, like 20 people, all have like 99 in all their stats. And then like he'll never have progressed the plot, like he'll never have done anything, and he's clearly having the best time. So like I'm not saying that this is the wrong way to play, but like it is certainly wrong when what I want to do is watch him play video games and like enjoy my experience. So like, you know, our optimization is off, I guess. Right? Like you spend the first 8 hours of Oblivion sneaking into a corner, you're max sneaking right off the bat. There is a bear in Skyrim. And like trying to play Skyrim, he's like, okay, you gotta like sneak up beside the bear. The bear is like 10 minutes into the game. And he's like, you have to sneak up beside the bear, and if you sneak into this corner, like you can just keep sneaking, and like it'll cause your sneak score to go up because the bear will not be able to see you, or he can see you, but he can't get to you. And he was like, all right, cool, like you've played the introduction to Skyrim, you've escaped from this dragon, just stay in this corner, and like, let's go get a sandwich or something. And I'm like, anyway, so I think about my dad a lot when we're designing Stonehearth, and it's more like, what would my dad enjoy, and what would he enjoy too much, and like what would drive me crazy if I had to like watch him play, and I know other people don't enjoy it as much as he does, and they kind of like wish that they weren't like in this situation. Well, anyway, sorry, Dad, if you're watching this stream. Okay. Right, so, okay, what about second floors? Second floors, I have to apologize a little bit at the moment, are not as awesome as first floors yet, because aside from the fact that, wow, this is a really ugly central room, they don't yet have a really, like the stair tool currently still has some issues with it, mostly insofar, okay, so cool, so here I am drawing a hole in the floor like I used to, which is cool. And I can use this to figure out, all right, like, I don't want it to overlap. I want it to be about that big. Like, so the stair tool doesn't quite work as well as the old stair tool did yet, because it doesn't auto snap to things yet. You actually have to, like, draw the stairs manually, which makes sense to me, actually, because, like, if what you're trying to do is make this thing as fast as you can, like, then you don't want to worry about auto snapping. You just want your stairs to like work no matter where they are, and it's a little bit more painful from a player perspective. So, but anyway, let's hollow those stairs. Let's make them that nice dark brown, because everything else here, or not. I know you can do this, stairs. I know you can do this. I did this on Thursday. All right. Well, right now they're stubbornly staying very pale. Maybe they just want to be distinctive. Alright, well, anyway, things are breaking all the time. Okay, so you have to put the stairs down in a slightly awkward fashion, but eventually we want to re-add the, like, the snap thing. Okay, so, right, so now we're on the second story. That's what makes making a second story slightly more complicated. Let's do this again so that we've got, like, oh, alright, that's kind of fun. So, like, I added, like, this sometimes happens where, like the ray casting isn't quite right. So, like, I added that second split wall, but, like, that second split wall just totally confused, like, the thing. So it's like, okay, well, now I can select this and move it. I can select that and move it, but if I put that second split wall, like, right on top of the old, like, there's something about putting it here that's causing this to not get registered as any kind of thing. So, so yeah, so like I said, there are bugs. There are lots of bugs, but that's okay because, oops, now it's not registering at all. Oh, alright, that's fun. There are lots of bugs, but that's okay because the important thing is how fast we fix them. I wonder if I put the wall now, if it'll be alright. No? Alright, cool. You're still being cranky. But anyhow, so, that's cool. You know what? We can just use the paint tool and cheat. Haha. Oh my gosh. Wow. Check it out. Elizabethan squareness. Like, I can't tell you how much I hate this. I hate this absolute awful squareness. Okay, what can I do to fix the squareness? Well, I could put a thing here. We could try this. Oh yes, this will come out, right? Okay, cool. So like now we'll have like a little embrasure with like windows and stuff like that. I'm glad you like the stairs. Whoops. Check it out. The same problem with the window. Put the window down. Selected the tree. It happens. You know, sometimes you just want to select a tree. I've actually been working with the building editor all day, and it's actually really cool. Insofar as, like, there are all these things that I've always wanted to do with the old building editor, and this building editor totally allows me to. Of course, like, we've been at this a little while, and I've wanted to show off all these things, but I feel like it's kind of awkward because, I mean, look at the costing on this building. We're now at, like, I need 72 logs. Like, we only have 39 logs? That's like a lot of logs. It's just, all I just want to say is the new building editor makes it really, really, really easy to build stuff that is very expensive. Okay, so cool. Got a thing. One thing that doesn't work right now is well, why should we use the, like, sad beds? We got the fancy beds. One thing that doesn't work right now is the building editor doesn't currently work with the place item UI. So, like, if you, in this version of the build, like, as an example of yet another thing that isn't quite right, you can, if you, like, finish the building and you want to, like, edit it, it's very difficult. Like, you can't add furniture to a building after it's been created, but you can place that furniture outside in the world and then move it into the building, because, of course, when this one's totally my fault. When I wrote the place item UI, I wrote it in 2 different ways in 2 different places because you're totally supposed to do code reuse and I didn't. So shame on me. And the end result is that one mechanism works with a new builder and the other does not, because Chris was like, well, why wouldn't it work? Like if I changed one place item UI, they should all change, right? And he did not foresee or predict that I would have been this lazy and therefore made his life this difficult. You know what would be cool, actually, is if instead of windows here, right, window, I want you. What if we put a door here and then did what Jeffers really loves about, like, you know, like patio party. Okay, so that wants probably the voxel slab tool, again in this lovely tasteful shade of brown. Getting larger windows, like bay windows, instead of lining up a few of them. At the moment, it has been something we would have liked to do for a while. At the moment, we do not currently have plans for that, but I could easily imagine them. So maybe someday, if we fix all of our current building problems and have enough time to think about other cool things. Like the fact that we could have 2x2 windows means that, or 1x2 means that it is theoretically possible. So one of the things that Nikki really wants to do is make a better fence tool, and I can totally understand why, because the current fence tool is like really difficult to use. You're like, wow, how come this just doesn't work the way that I want it to work? Oh, I see. It's because it's supposed to work from the middles of things instead of from the ends of things. Okay, that's good to know. What if I did that? No, still not. All right. Undo, actually, will work though now for the fence tool, so that's exciting. Okay. How about this? It'll just be a little janky there at the corner. No? You're just being really stubborn. The fixture tool's sometimes still kind of like sticky, where you're like, I want you to do this, and it's like, nope, nope. All right. This is fighting me, so... Excuse me. Let's do this instead. So now we have like a nice sort of like modern plaza. I do think that one of the dangers of the new building editor is that, again, it encourages you to make really large structures and they don't feel medieval anymore. Or they don't feel like, you know, they just feel really enormous. Okay, so roof time. Roofs have a lot of fun, surprising edge cases to them. For example, in this case, it's very easy, like we still want the roofs to snap better. They don't snap very well at all right now, like, so it's very easy to be one-off. Like in this case where it was like, what? Your roof is one-off? But the good news is that we added lots of tools so that, assuming you can select, you can mess with the roofs so that, surprise! I bet you didn't know that that was gonna happen. I think that's about the drop wall. So like, see how this roof is one forward? Alright, so like we need to move it back one, basically, so that it's in line, but now it's over. Yeah, moving things in 3D space is hard. Alright. Neat. Okay, but now you're one over, so okay, back this way. But now your drop wall is wrong. Like, remember we wanted, oh, whatever. Okay, you're supposed to be, this square's supposed to be dark, but, like, let's not worry about it too much. And I was gonna fake the thing with the paint tool, so I guess I'd better keep faking it. I was watching Allie make templates for the Northern Alliance during our hackathon last week, and I was like, oh my god, like, she fakes a lot of things, but she fakes a lot, which is to say, like, she uses the painting tool to make things look amazing. They're not actually there. Whoa, I don't know what is selected right now. And now I'm in the Lua console. Maybe, oh, I see. It's because if you use the voxel slab tool, you can actually select parts of it and, like, do things like extrude things. So what if I actually wanted a really strong crossbeam? I told myself I would never do this. Like, Elizabethan houses are, like, they're sometimes deeply problematic to me. Like, it's like, oh my god, why do you have this, like, horizontal bar? No one ever wanted this horizontal bar, but okay. So cool. We now have a giant house that is going to take 72 logs to build, and, like, an ornate comfy bed, and, like, all this stuff. But at least we did manage to build it. Yes, are the buttons at the top undo, redo? If so, does redo work, or are they something different? They're indeed undo, redo. What were we doing? Right, those guys? So there's undo. Here's redo. I would personally, and they actually work really, really well right now. I think Chris really wanted them to work. So yeah, oh yes, 56 logs to build. I'm sorry, we have 72 logs, so I guess you guys have been chopping down trees, so maybe it's okay. But this is still going to take a while, so let's actually try it and see how long it takes for them to actually build this. But first, let's add some more lamps. Oh, one thing that I should mention is that Nikki was like really passionate that you should be able to add a patio outside your house and still have it be considered part of the house. So like this is actually part of the same building as this because we have not clicked this button, which causes something to be a new building. But that means that, you know, if you want to save it as a template, this will go with that one. And the save as template is this purple button. A thing I wanted to specifically mention about the cut tool and the voxel tool, which will not be in this Desktop Tuesday because it's kind of advanced, maybe it'll be in a future Desktop Tuesday, is that the surface on which you select the thing is actually really important. So right now I have the pointer tool, right? If I select this side of the voxel, I can pull it in this direction. If I select the top surface though, over here, then I can pull it in this direction. And this is so that we didn't have to have two different tools. But it does mean that you have to be a little bit more precise with what it is that you are selecting. So I've selected this group of guys, and then if I pull it from here, oops, sorry. I've selected this group of guys, and now I can pull it this way because my selection started from a side. If I select it from the top, then I can pull it up. But at first, this like drove me completely crazy, and I didn't understand why my selection was or was not working. And maybe there's still more we could do with the cursor or whatever, but anyway, let me just put that out there so that you are not saddened like me. The same is true actually for the eraser tool. So let me put some things up here just so it's easier to see. But if I pick the whole tool and I select on this surface of the block, then I can delete in this space. That doesn't, what? Right, I can delete in this, whatever. I don't know. All right, it's easy for me to delete in this direction. And if I select this surface, then I can go in this direction instead. So it's sort of like, do you want to go left, right, up, down? Like, if I select on the top surface, I can delete these guys. If I select on the side surface, I can delete these guys. If I select on the side surface and there's like, so here I want to, like, if I select on the side surface here, then I can delete these dudes in this dimension. As opposed to selecting on the top surface where I can then delete these dudes in this dimension. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's so easy to see it, like, once you actually try it, because of course, if you're clicking on something up here, you probably want to delete in this plane, right? As if you're clicking on something, like, on the side of a building, you probably want to delete something in this plane, but finding the exact specific right words for it is a little bit difficult. And here I am just, you know, being super punched and pleased with how, you know, absolutely the undo tool works. All right. So yeah, Angelo would actually use the builder over the weekend to make, or over last week, to make the most beautiful little pagoda thing. And I think this works. No, double click, sorry. Sometimes double click selects all the things you'd expect, and sometimes it does not. But anyway, in this case, let's just shift click, and we'll pull these guys up. Like, ah, yay! Does this work? Right, no. But anyway, okay, we'll pull these guys up a little bit more. No, sorry. It's a little bit, like, tricky to grab. No, except that I clicked on the sides instead of the top, so that's why they're like, and, right, okay, so clicking on the top, no selection. 1, 2. Wow, alright, they just really want to select the thing. There we go. Pull this up a little bit more. All right, cool. And then we'll, like, you know, let's see. Like, great. Now it's like a cube. Surprise. But right, so yes, Angelo built the, like, really the most adorable pagoda, and this is not going to be as cool of a pagoda because he put, like, serious thought into it. Or at the very least, it looked like he did afterwards. Ah, right. So, like, in this case, I put this block down on the side, and because it was going on the side, it only wants to drag in this direction. Unlike the old voxel tool, which you would, like, always pull in the horizontal direction, and so it would always go. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so in this case, I'll want to pull here and do this in order to get that to work. And then, whoa. All right, that was X. So there's like a little bit of like fiddliness to it, but at least it's fiddly in a more interesting way. Right. Cool. So great. Like, now we have this weird cubist structure on the side. You might want to make the extruding direction more obvious. Some people might miss that. Yeah, like me. Like, I missed it for a long time. So definitely. I think, like, the arrows tell you a little bit, but probably not as much as you would necessarily expect to get. Okay, so let's add some, like, fancy, like chairs. I don't know if you noticed, but Mally made the benches, like, a lot prettier. Like, now they actually look like benches instead of, like, these weird, like, love seat benches. You know, and if we promote you, yeah, you look like a mason. Haha. Like, suddenly the building editor is now going to have mason stuff in the decoration. Like, oh man, like, fancy, like, hearthstone pit fire things, and no, that's probably too close. Yeah, let's do that. And then, what else? I wanted a bird bath, actually. I wonder if that bird bath, for some reason bird bath, okay, counts as furniture. Alright, cool. Neat. Alright, so great. The building is complete, and you hit the build button. And it asks you to place the banner at a Hearthling accessible location beside your building. We actually had a long meeting about this today to see if it's actually necessary. But the reason that it exists, oh, your Hearthlings can't figure out how to build your building. Wow, it's so polite of it to say so. And actually, if I keep looking, there's probably going to be something like a red cube somewhere in here that, like, will tell me why it is that it doesn't build. But probably first, let's actually save it as a template. Because that way we can send this thing to Chris, so that, which is to say the Stonehearth team, but which is to say Chris. So it's like, hey Chris, why isn't this building building? And probably somewhere, if we look closely enough, assuming it's not obscured by paint, we'll probably see like a red square that explains why the building isn't building. So for example, if I go back to building mode, you can actually use the story tool now. This is Justin's work. You can use it to go up and down, which is so nice. It's so nice. So it's like, okay, I want to add furniture down here. Great. Like, I don't have to worry about that. And you could use the slice tool before, but like, this is just 100 times more convenient. So if I look in here, probably there's going to be some red thing that shows that like something in my roof or like some shenanigan going on, like, is not happy. And if Chris actually was using the console, he could definitely see it more easily than I would here. My guess is it's probably something about this roof, where it connects to that roof, just based on some experience I had earlier today. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the building editor, and as you can see, there's like 1 million templates that we still have to send Chris so that he can figure out what's going on and why they're not working, so that you don't have to get that message. I think it's sort of like a toss-up as to like whether or not you would rather have them start the building and then not complete, or just know from the get-go that the building isn't going to work. Is it the tree? Shift-click and destroy the tree? Whoa, did we just... Okay, cool. Let's shift-click and destroy the tree. I don't know if this will fix it, though, because if it's calculated once... Alright. Well, that's something. Mutation.lua. So it's like part of the, like, the way that the building calculates its dependencies. When it's like, hey, how am I going to build myself? Like, what am I going to do? So yeah, I feel like this building is, like, they already told you that there was a problem, and then the minute that you get another problem, like sort of like all bets are off. So we can try again, but right. So anyway, about that banner, I don't know, what do you guys think? So the idea behind the banner is that sometimes it's very difficult for the game to figure out where your Hearthling should stand in order for the building to get built successfully. So one of our thoughts is that you should have this banner, and that, like, you know, if you place the banner in a place that you think Hearthlings should be able to get to, then, like, if you put your building in the middle of, like, a pit and there's nowhere to get to it, you're like, oh, right, my building, it's in a pit. And then you can, like, build ladders or stairs or whatever to get your Hearthlings to that banner. But there's still maybe some options we can explore to see if there's other ways of making it okay. But one of the many reasons that the original builder couldn't build was because it was just very difficult sometimes for Hearthlings to figure out how to get to the building. So, you know, like, we're trying to accommodate some of this stuff, but there's only so much you can do in code, evidently, based on the fact that we've been trying for 5 years. So yeah, I'm glad you like the sound effects. I really like them too. Aaron is doing a really great job, and he's just like he didn't know how to code. We were just like, I'm sorry, Aaron, we don't have third-party software, so you're just gonna have to get in there and figure it out yourself. And he was like, okay, I can do that. He's been very, very wonderful. Okay, so, right, can you also have building stockpiles where the material for the buildings are all set? Right, exactly what Mally said. You can do that now with input bins. If you put an input bin full of logs beside your building, then it will go ahead and build stuff. Okay, so, right, this is what's been going on with this builder, and as you can see from the fact that it didn't build, there's a lot of problems that still exist with the builder, which is why you are not currently playing with it, because you basically, like, have to be very patient and really deeply into this kind of patience in order to be okay with this. It's not a game so much yet as it is a tool. It is a lot of fun, but yes, I mean, you probably want to see your houses build, right? Would it be possible to replace doors or windows after a building's built? Like if you get a very high appeal door, you want to replace it? Yes, that is theoretically possible with this system. We just haven't done it because, again, Chris is trying to get to parity with the old builder, so like just have the exact same functionality that it used to have, just, you know, less incredibly excruciatingly painful to do. You could delete wall with the hole. You could delete wall with the hole? Like, is that a suggestion? Right. Okay. So, oh man, Stonehearth, I need to boot this back up again. Have there been any major updates lately? I guess it depends on how you define lately. If you get onto Steam, if you look at the dev blog, you'll see a bunch of stuff that's on there. But I think my favorite thing is like Steam Unstable. If you go, you'll get like a little quest that like tells you things about like Hearth, like Township. Like, so in this case, no, because we haven't really been playing. But you get this dude, like a strange bird. An odd bird arrives with a letter in its beak stamped with the official seal of the Ascendancy. The bird also carries a name tag which reads Herald. You open the letter, and wow, it's no longer Mer Burlyhands, and Mer Burlyhands is no longer like a woodsman. He's now like an official. Like, he's like, hey, Expedition of 59, like, I'm your capital liaison. Like, now we can go and do your founding, like, to sort of celebrate the fact that you're an outpost. So, like, you should have had time to think about what kind of banner you wanted, right? Like, okay, so now pick a banner. And it's like, okay, the different kinds of banners have different kinds of bonuses. Let's pick the one that's like cunning, as represented by the pollo. This is for like if you want a sprawling settlement with like lots of roads. You issue the declaration and you celebrate. This is what last Desktop Tuesday was about, and I find the celebration really adorable, actually. And these guys are all asleep, so it's not going to be that exciting of a celebration, but see, the banner's empty right now. And they're going to think about it for a while. They're going to keep thinking about it. I wonder if it's bugged because they're waiting for these people to wake up. Anyway, okay, so here it goes. So the banner's like, woo, shiny, 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 shiny. Like, this circle thing really reminds me of that awesome transformation sequence from one of these like childhood cartoons I loved. Right, so now they're like super celebrating and they're really happy because like they did successfully land in a new place and found an outpost and like, you know, it's all good. So this is probably the newest thing that's on Unstable right now, but you know, there's been a bunch of stuff. Do builders still get stuck in lakes when you're building close to them? Do you have to build extra ladders down to the lake floor in order to get them to scaffold? So Chris is trying to solve it so that you never have to use ladders again. But if there's a part of the building that's completely inaccessible, then yeah, you should probably build a ladder there. Because like maybe they might build a ladder, maybe they're smart enough, but like, you know, like if they're having trouble, like, and you can see that they're having trouble, just reach in and help them out. You love that the monuments get more recipes? Yeah, I'm really fond of those too. Like Ali's goal with that, which she talks about when we did the Europe stream a while back, was so that your high-end town is of a certain type, and so therefore, like your town should look like it. So if it's like a very military town, it should have accoutrements that make it feel like it's got military things all over it. So, you know, giant horns and like portcullises and stuff. So once you've picked, you get the title music, and it's just like, yay, Stonehearth. I agree, actually. Like, the title music was placeholder, but, like, it gave the title music meaning, I think, which was really cool. Will Hearthlings get a wagon, or have resources in a chest instead? Yes, you can totally make a chest, and the carpenter can currently make a chest, and you can fill the chest with stuff. Wow, did I never put down the workbench? Okay. You can fill the chest with stuff and then they can like sort of like haul the chest around. They're here. Okay, cool. And we are coming to the end of the hour, even though I know I started late, but I wanted to actually save time to do the Northern Alliance town names. So let's actually do that. We will just take this and put it here and make it bigger. And let's save this just in case we want to send Chris anything like this building template, which doesn't build, although I suspect he knows about it because I actually sent him maybe like a lot of messages earlier today. Gotta be like, I feel really bad. I sent him so many messages, like, hey, I made this house and it doesn't work. So, so yeah, you know, we might save that for tomorrow. Right. So, okay, so about the name. We totally did, at least when we announced that we had the name Stonehearth, we didn't know that Blizzard had actually got the trademark for Hearthstone in Europe something like 6 months before they ever announced Hearthstone. So we came up with the name before they announced Hearthstone, but unfortunately they do have the trademark. And so, but they have been very nice about it, and they haven't tried to be like, oh, you have to change your name, which is, I'm very grateful, because, I mean, you've got Hearthstone, and you've got Stonehearth, right? Like, they're very different scales. So, hopefully, and they're very different games, so hopefully no one will confuse them, even though people confuse them verbally all the time. If you actually play it, you would not think, oh, I'm playing a card game. So hopefully it won't be a problem, and I super appreciate it that they've never, like, been any kind of mean to us about it. Okay, so, is this Dungeon Keeper? You slap your imps to make them faster? Because I feel like if you poke the dudes, like, in Warcraft, you end up with them complaining too. But, right, Stonehearth is a trading card game, right? I know, right? We've thought about calling it Watchover. It's terrible. We actually had a booth beside Blizzard during a job fair earlier this year, or last year, and we were just like, I'm so sorry, like, this is going to be really confusing. And they're like, yeah, whatever, okay. Clearly it's not a thing that's on their mind, and I'm very grateful. Okay, so right, we were gonna do some Northern Alliance stuff. I wonder if I can actually find, is it on here? You reload everything. So, Northern Alliance population. This doesn't, maybe, it might not yet have the names that we added. So, okay, I'm looking for surnames and town names. And town names come in multiple pieces. So this is like the prefix, which is optional, the heart of the town name, and then the suffix, which is also optional. So, for example, using this, you might get a town called Svarek Os. Or you might just get a town called Rek, which is how you end up with North Puppydell, or like sometimes you just get a town named Puppy. So, town names. And I think let's do them here in this doc instead of, program files, notepad 2. So that, yes, let's do that. Actually, let's actually go ahead and put it in the stream folder so that I will be able to find it later. Yeah, okay, cool. So we want them in this format, in short. So, like, prefix, town name, and suffix. Shuffled. All right. Hold, certainly. Very cold. Vend. I feel like these are very Norse, very Viking, so if you want to like look in that area, we can also do things that are named after, like, we can also do English words and just have them sort of like amalgamated like we did last time. So like if this is like frost, hold, frost, vend, Yarnheim, right? ZY and Burke. Nor. Yeah. Berg. I feel like Berg is a little bit German as opposed to like, or it makes me think of like a cozy town. The Northern Alliance is more like little outposts. So maybe like it's like more badass that way. At least it doesn't immediately like bring Val and Hala, right? Hala, I think of deer, but if we put it up here, then you won't get like Valhalla, you'll get like Valhanthala, which might be better. Berg is German for mountain. Okay. Ooh, Seoul. That's good. Fought. Ard. Yeah. Vale is actually pretty good too, because Vale is like, oh, Frost Vale. Bryn. Dun. Right, this is good. Heim. More German. But yeah, like, oh, no, like, that's Norse too. Like, Jarnheim. Desh. Yeah, these are really good. Grin. From a random naming program you're writing. Alright, let's start at the beginning. Let's put Grin up here. So, Berg, Berry, Borough, more ascendancy. Bridge, though. Brockberg, Bury by Carden. What is Carden? That's interesting. Sester? Setter? Iced. Till? Nish? Prorog. Wow. Porgs. Progsy. Feeling Polish there. Crater. Yeah, Crater's good. So you're like frigid Crater. Like, anyway. Awesome. I want to, like, is Carden a thing, actually? Because the rest of them are things? Svale. Oh, that's beautiful. Chester, Cheth, Comb. Comb, like honeycomb, but, like, also, like, Armar comb. Maybe like that. Schloss. I feel like Schloss is super German. Like street, maybe? Like, Karl. Frost Crater sounds harsh. Yeah, actually. That, if you go back into, not the stream, but the last one about the Northern Alliance, it definitely has a sort of, like, harshness to it. Oh, that's cool. Sylvnia. I feel like the Northern Alliance names are going to be, like, super difficult to pronounce. Slavnia. Slot. Dwarf, right? Firth, though. Keth. Also good. Your castle is Schloss. Schlossberg? Viking town names. Yeah, see, like, I can't pronounce that. Troll is good, though. Care. Always good. Care Morn. Care Morhen. From The Witcher, probably. Okay. Right. Wyke. Wyke is very romantic sounding. Fajol. I don't even know fuel. Like, how are you supposed to, like, pronounce that? Parav. Oh, jeez. I mean, like, when the words themselves are, like, when the consonants themselves are melding together, like, it's like, yeah, you get an award for the most number of, like, sorry, vowels? The most number of vowels, like, smushed together. Halls, though. Do you have snow as a prefix? No. But, like, snow ice? Snow dash. Kiln. Okay, this seems like a good starter, because again, these guys are gonna get like, jol as in jolly. F as in fish. Like, how do you even, like, if you put F as in fish in front of the word jolly, like, how would anyone even, like, okay. Eden's good too. All right, neat. So I think let's call that good for now. I will make sure to save this out and stick this into the Northern Alliance section so that they don't all just have like Astor, Frigid, Rek, and Armar as their town names. And we will call it a night. Thank you guys for hanging out and looking at the builder with me and looking at all of its various things that aren't quite ready yet, but being legitimately or genuinely excited to see it when it comes. I always have a really great time hanging out with you, and I hope you feel the same. So, great. What comes next? I guess there'll be a Desktop Tuesday next Tuesday, and there should also be a stream a week from today, next Thursday. Okay, I will see you then, guys. See you later.